Alright, guys. Glass is broken. Kind of pops up right there in the beginning, too. Welcome, winners. Welcome. Broken the Glass. Mr. Play is tackling his favorite series of all times. Of all time. You have the right to the freedom of speech, freedom of worship, from want, from fear. These rights would not exist without a fifth. The right to protect all other freedoms by whatever means necessary. It's my freedom, it's my duty, it is my war. We are tackling the Splintercell franchise here. I'm a massive Tom Clancy fan. I've joked before that I played too much Call of Duty, and that's why I joined the military. Way back in the day. My first one was actually Chaos Theory, because it was the first one was on the PS2. These were an Xbox exclusive. If you guys notice, I'm actually playing the Xbox version. I am not playing the updated version that they did a couple years ago for the... Yeah. It's such a horrible intro right there. You motherfuckers. Yeah, I am not playing the up-res HD edition because I'm hoping to play every single thing in all of these games, up to and including the. If you notice, Nick and I did a couch co-op a couple years ago now, playing Splinter Cell Convictions co-op. So I'm hoping to tag Nick in a few times here to tackle the co-op campaign for Chaos Theory and a couple of the co-op missions for Blacklist. So yeah, I will be going through all of them. Of course, I will be talking about my stories through them. These games shaped a lot of how I played. By birth, I'm an only child. All of my family is adopted. The family you chose. So here, this to me was the coolest thing ever. This was somebody who worked completely alone, completely isolated, and I know there's always the big war between this versus Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid, fantastic series. Nick has taken me through the third one. I know he wants to tackle 4. I'm hoping to tackle the other ones as well, 1 and 2, maybe even 5 with Nick. However, that being said, what I loved about this one is when they created, it was in an interview for 3 for Chaos Theory, and they said what they wanted here was a game where you didn't need a rocket launcher to be a badass. You were a badass without being seen. So with that all being said, I am going to LP. Nope. So, I'm going to do the controller vibration on normal. Difficulty is going to say normal. And I'm going to continue the game as if I've started. I have played through it recently, so it shouldn't be a slog.
Canceled a trip to Georgia this morning after the suicide bomb assassination of that country's president by separatist rebels from the Abkhazia region. Continued fighting in the Abkhazia and South Ossetia regions has hindered Georgia's hopes of integration into Western institutions. Industry baron Kombain Nikolad seized power today in a bloodless coup, installing himself in the presidential palace behind a wall of political and military support. The charismatic billionaire plans on holding elections within a matter of days to affirm his seat of power and promises a pristine and profitable relationship with America and the West. Bringing high-speed fiber optic connectivity to areas of Eastern Europe that less than a decade past didn't have telephones. The technological leap is due largely to the efforts of rising information industries in the Netherlands, and especially Georgia, where the vice president called his visit to Georgia an honor and called Georgian President Kombain Nikolads a man with his eyes on the future.
prove that you are the right man for the job. As Agent Sam Fisher, you have been recruited to spearhead the operational arm of the National Security Agency's Third Echelon Initiative. Before being sent into the field, you must demonstrate that you possess the skills to undertake dangerous and covert solo missions. I will also try to cover a lot of the books here as well. Gotta love these gorgeous in-game cutscenes.
Sam Fisher. I can't believe you beat me here.
I like to be early. Hello, Colonel.
You can use my name. The room's safe.
Lambert.
Good to see you again. I trust NSA orientation is going well?
Well enough. Everybody's been real coy about what exactly I'm allowed to know.
It's the nature of the agency. We don't let any one person know everything, which means we've all got to work together.
Even though I'll be out there alone.
You'll be transmitting to us in more ways than you can imagine, and we'll be online through your earpiece and OPSAT.
And that's how we're handling training.
Yep. Sorry to make you run the course. I know you've been taking care of yourself.
I haven't been in the field in years.
Sure. But tradecraft is something you don't forget. It's like riding a bike.
Or wearing high heels.
Be careful, Fisher. Everything we say is being monitored. You know how nervous the brass is about exercising the Fifth Freedom.
I'll be good.
Be better than good. Third Echelon is a brand new initiative. The role aggressive intelligence operations will play in NSA's future will depend largely on your performance. I'll see you on the far side of the course. All right, Sam, let's get started. Can you hear me clearly?
Hi.
Yes, I can.
Good. That means the implanted speaker is working correctly. Now,
I love the idea of a
technicians here want
subdermal.
to calibrate your equipment. Can you turn to the red emergency light on the wall to your left?
Of course, we have to calibrate, guys.
Now the one on your right.
One of the things that I do really like about this is they try to make it partial to the game, right? So we're communicating. So he's like, hey, this is how we're going to communicate. This is how you're going to get your mission info and everything else. You know, what is...
Excellent. Now look for one on the ground in front of you. All right, Fisher. We'll get through this as quickly as possible. We'll start simple. Climb up onto that ledge, over that pool.
So it's also like, hey, we want to make sure that we're calibrated to be looking at what you're looking at, that any kind of optics or monitoring that we have on you is completely here. Please give me 1 second, guys. All right, I apologize. I don't think this game has, like looking through it here, I don't think that this game has has subtitles. So I will try to be quiet during the speaking parts, so that way we don't miss anything, and of course do a little bit of a recap. So I love this. Like, it comes in, nothing there. Now I am gonna try to also hit as many of the secrets that I know about. So that's something that I'll learn how to do in a little bit. But there are some doors up here, and it does have a keypad that's interactable. I do not have access to it, so I will... I'm just hitting buttons real quick. All right, because I haven't played it in a minute. I have played it recently, but I have not played this in a minute. But I do love the fact that they're still going to have you run the course. And of course here, I believe canon Sam Fisher is supposed to be about 40 years old here.
We'll let you do your thing here. You're looking at your basic assault course. I'll chime back in once you've passed it.
So when he says he's been taking care of himself and he's been out of the field, he's been an operative for the CIA for a while here. Previously, Sam Fisher was a Navy SEAL. Yep. And then we just walk into it to climb up. He was a Navy SEAL, and then shortly after that was recruited into the CIA as a NOC, which is a non-official cover, where he would be in Russia, a few other countries, and do more clandestine work that way as an actual agent for the CIA. And I believe what we're actually going to get to here is we will get to see what the idea of the echelons are, because we do have here, we are the third echelon, which doesn't always make a ton of sense until we get covered, and I believe it is in a dead drop coming up, even in this area. We might even also, in one of the secrets, kind of get it to be told to us. So one of the things I love here is we get the split jump, so that way if there was a guard here, we could drop down on top of him and take him out pretty quietly there. And yeah, so like the whole point of this is almost similar to that of like a Marine or Navy SEALs, where you would have an assault course like this, where it's just going to test your physical acumen. There's also the pit, which is, if you remember from, I believe it's Modern Warfare 2, which is where you did the training. You run through an assault course, using the same word to describe itself, to take shots and take on the enemy, and they would be, silhouettes and everything that you would fire at, which would be like, hey, this is where we think the enemy's going to be hiding, this, that, the other, and where they're going to come out of, and you try to clear it as quickly as possible, as accurately as possible, so that way you can go ahead and do as much, familiarize with yourself as much as possible, as well as get the score. Being a pit boss is pretty fantastic. There was also oh, hold on, there it is. You gotta turn your back to the wall to do it. Like it's sometimes a little finicky here. All right, let's do this. And like if you hear me clicking back and forth, it's because it doesn't always like line up where you are correctly when you're going through this area. So yeah, we have the assault course here. My favorite assault course ever to be done was probably Titanfall 2's, where it gave you the score and you had to like use all the mechanics and you could try all the different weapons.
Good job, Fisher. As soon as you can find a way over the gate, we'll move on to covert ops training.
And of course here it's like, this is where it teaches you, hey, you can kick off the wall and huh. You know what, guys? I might have made a quick mistake. Hang on. Alright, guys. Back at the beginning of the course real quick. So, one of the things that I forgot to sit here and do, you saw me hop up on the one side. And typically what we would do here is check both sides of this gate here for you. I was kicking off a little early there. And what'll happen here is you learn that you can go back into the room. That looks like some massive amounts of blood, but you can go into this room over here and you can pick up a lockpick. So what happened here is for whatever reason, I thought that those actually came with me and were automatically in my kit. They in fact weren't. So in order to get like the first set of secrets to like kind of show off a little bit more about this game, that is something that is needed. So you guys will have 2 more cuts, and then I promise I'll jump on with the mission here, so that way we can show that. All right, guys. So I'm back here at this door, which I said, interactable door that you guys saw from earlier. The door is locked, but what I can do, because I've now picked up this my gadget here, my lockpick, I can go ahead and pick the locks here. Now, one of the things that I enjoy here is, like I said, this is completely missable, and this doesn't matter. It doesn't do much outside of give you some background context. and show you a little bit more. But it also teaches you, like, hey, you know, we're going to learn about data sticks. We're going to learn that, you know, Sam Fisher is going to be able to interact with computers. It's a nice, like I said, it's a very subtle feature in this game where data and investigations are incredibly important, right? The whole point of this is, you know, you're a Splintercell agent and you're a spy, and the biggest thing for spies here is, of course, information. That's what they're going to work with the most. But while I do have you here, let's check out this data stick. All right, so this is from Anna Grimsdaughter. Lambert, I'm anxious to see what this super spy of yours can do. I'll be watching him from the observation platform over the assault course. I've temporarily changed the door code to 5656 to keep anybody from wandering in. If he's as capable as you say, I'm sure we'll do fine in the field. Just don't want to get too optimistic, old man. Just because the brass gave us the okay to recruit him doesn't mean we're in the clear. We've still got a lot to prove here. And while Fisher may turn out to be the best thing since Audie Murphy, he's still just one man. A single slip up and the folks upstairs will shut us down. Faster than a leaking reactor. And as far as your claim that there is no such thing as a secret, when Sam Fisher is looking for something, well, I'll believe it when I see it. Grim. So, you guys got my lovely reading voice and those weird, and that weird dialogue here. So, guess what? That tells us, hey, that there's an observation platform where she'll be, and we get to learn a little bit more about one of the characters in the series as well. Grim has a bit more of a fancier role within the books. She's a major star character in the books completely, and I like her for who she is portrayed to be within that series, and you get to see that more in Blacklist, and I would say Conviction are when we get to see who Anna Grimsdaughter is. But for now, we're gonna go meet her a little bit early on, and that's gonna be the plan here. So you guys get to see me go through this obstacle course, like I said, about one more time. You have to do it front and backwards in order to be able to get over to her, and that is my plan, so that way we get that extra dialogue. Like I said, it's one of those things where the game here is giving you a massive reward for going through and being like, okay, wait, there's something else here. Why is there this random locked door? There's got to be a way to get into it. There are two ways up there. Can I reach them? And you might not know that until later on in the course, but it is one of my favorite aspects of this game. So, observation, or briefing and observation. 5. Oh. And I have instant access to this room.